All right. According to YouTube, I should be live. I will wait for a sound check to make sure that is actually the case. As usual, promotional consideration paid for by the following: John K, Andrew C, Lady Quickblood 35, Moonbad, Babas T, Craig B, Jimmy M, Drac Wizard, James C, Macy J, Tipsy Thomas, James B, Wolick, Jason G, Michael W, Cornite, Care Bear, Olinius Pius, Road Dog, King Assault, Tippers, Sean, Orange Veteran, Christian M, Celtic Miniatures, and Randy the Axeman. All right. Thank you, Logan, for the sound check. Sounds good. All right. Let's get into OBS here. Doot. And we'll do display capture. And I can see you guys. All right. We'll bring up little Akatsuka here. She'll say hi. All right. And then let's go into it here. Boom. Okay, so cool thing here, Rumors of the Old World. It's a thing that I'm doing lately, and so I don't want to stop because, everything that comes out is actually pretty cool. So at Warhammer Fest, GW showed off a Bretonnian Paladin. That's this guy right here. And do I get I get a bigger picture of that? Yay. I think that's a really cool model. This is the first one they've done on foot since the 90s. If you wanted one back in 2003, you had to print it or you had to special order it from the GW catalog. So I think this guy's pretty cool. But that was the problem. And let's go and look at the Tomb King here. The only problem is these were the only two models revealed. I think that's kind of lazy. We have no release date for the Old World. My hope is that this winter. That's my hope that we're getting. Because if it comes out this winter, I have the ability to field at least 2 full armies and everything. We know that some old models are coming back. One thing I know for sure is that I want another army of greenskins. I wouldn't mind doing a full savage orc army, at least 80 savages on foot, and then 2 units of 10 savage boar boys running things, maybe 3 units of 10 savage boar boys. Those are models that I could get right now, but I'm kind of holding off because I don't know what base sizes they're going to actually come out with. I don't want to waste any time, energy, or effort just yet. Well, it's kind of like my Beastmen. I've got a bunch of 40mm squares that I'm holding off on here, and if they're going to go to 60mm, maybe I'll just do that. One thing that would be really helpful is if GW just released these bases and movement trays right now. Just release the bases and movement trays right now, but maybe they haven't finalized the book. I wouldn't mind some brand new Orc Boy models to match the new ones that came out on boars in 2010. I still have 10 of those guys, and it kind of sucks that they discontinued them, so this wait is, to say the least, killing me. Let's take a look at this guy's back real quick. Lots of detail. I like that. That's pretty good, what else could you expect from Games Workshop? They're always pushing the envelope. I don't know if this guy's resin or not. They say the Paladin is resin. Let's see here. Oh, God, I already came down to the end of it. All right, that's it. That's all they have. That's all they have. One other rumor that I did hear, and this is actually pretty big, is that they are... okay, we're good. What do you call it? No 2-player starter box. They might not do a 2-player starter box. No, and I kind of agree with that because the Warhammer the Old World might not be a game that you start with immediately. It might not be a game that you start with immediately. So, if you're new to the hobby, you probably want to steer clear of Warhammer. One thing I do know for sure is that it cost me $1,200 to build my Iron Warriors list, and when you have a minimum buy-in with a fantasy army at 800 and you're tripling the body count that you have to paint, yeah, that's maybe not the best move if you're a complete newbie to the hobby, So I just, that's 800 to 1,000 minimum for triple the workload, So how many people are playing 30K right now? Well, I did some Google searching on YouTube and everything, and 30K is a niche it's a niche game. You know, the only ones who are producing battle reports are smaller channels, you know, anywhere from the 2,000 to 5,000 subscriber range. And then you have a couple of big names, Mini Wargaming, of course, Mountain Miniatures, and then you also have SN Battle Reports. You don't have a lot of people from the influencer class playing Warhammer 30K, which would, so my theory is that Warhammer the Old World is just going to be relegated to a niche market. So we're pretty much done with that. Let's go in here. We'll take off display capture. We'll go to the screen. We'll put up Aka, and we'll keep talking here for a minute, and we'll go to chat. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Tuna Boat Z? How are you guys? Fox, always a pleasure. And Wraith is also here. Hungar, what's up? All right. I think I said hi to everybody. I'm glad you enjoy my streams. They have militia PDF rules. Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't even had time to even get into 30K. I am planning a couple commissions for my Iron Warriors. Because I sold an army, that undead army, and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, some of the money is going to go into commissions because I'm 100% overwhelmed here, as you can see. And there's a reason for that, you know. I mean, one, I'm a junkie, and two, I just can't get enough. But that makes me question how many people right now are going to get into the old world. You know, I mean. Not having a two-player box set for the buy-in might be a good idea, and you just release the army starter boxes instead. You know, I mean, because you might not, I mean, it looks like, to me, Games Workshop isn't going to rely on the Total War Warhammer audience to come into the hobby. You know, video gamers are even 10 times lazier than your standard war gamer. And, you know, that's just, if your whole business is reliant on that, you know, I mean, it could be a marketing blunder. They're going to hype it. My hope is it's winter this year, or maybe 2 months after the release of 40K 10th edition. But other than that, I really don't know. Again, I wish they would just give us some bases, give us some trays, give us some idea of what we're working with here, because I don't want to be in limbo on my projects and everything. Yeah, well, it's good to hear it, Unforgiven. You're prepping some old world miniatures? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm in limbo, and there's a lot of, I mean, I keep looking at Savage Orcs right now, and I just like, I want Bretonnians. I want Bretonnians now, not later. Just give us the Bretonnians so I can give the middle finger to a bunch of British sellers and be like, I'm not buying that for $244 with $24.98 to ship from Knightsbridge. So, kind of got a sponsor today, and it's Celtic Miniatures, if you saw the thumbnail. A link to his Instagram is in my description for this video, so if you want to check out Celtic Miniatures, that I would appreciate that. So, what's up, King John? And how are you doing? Well hung and dung. So, what I've done here is I've gotten some of these models out. I have to organize them. As always, like, I was working right up to the 5-minute line again before this stream. And so one of the things that I want to start with are these Stygian Knights. That's what I call these guys, these chaos looking dudes. Now I'm doing up some miniatures for his page and everything so that he'll have a more professional look and everything. And so I'm going to start with some of these guys. Now I'm not going to explain the first steps. Let me get rid of Aka here. Goodbye, Aka. You know, I could be having the worst day in the world, you know, the absolute worst day in the world. And then I come home and I see that picture and I'm just like, yay, big tits. It's like, and then oh, yay. Oh, yay. You know, you could just be having a bad day and it's just like, oh, well, that makes me happy temporarily, you know. So there is that. So, what's up, Tipsy Thomas? Got a new Holy Diver show out there, as you patrons know, and I really want to release it, but you know, I'm doing this thing for Celtic, so I want to kind of give him some analytical benefits. So if you aren't a patron, go over to Patreon and you can watch the new Holy Diver show. Don't forget to comment and like it while it's in limbo. I call Patreon video limbo. It will get uploaded the same day to Rumble as the same day that I release it over on YouTube. But I wanted to give him a day because you know he's sponsoring today's stream. So one of the things that I've done first with these guys is I painted the bases brown with P3 Battlefield Brown. Okay, I put them on 25 millimeter squares because you know they do rank up pretty good. They're a little meaty. They're not as big as a Chaos Warrior, but I got them next to a Beast Man here. They are kind of a heroic scale, you know, so they are kind of meaty in that regard, you know. But and then the next thing I did was I what do you call it? I painted them black with Negro or Black Air from the Air Color from the Vallejo range, and then the next thing I did was again, the table's in shambles today. I did not have time to organize the table before stream. I used black ink on the armor. All right, so I'm pretty sure that everybody watching right now absolutely knows how to do all of that, you know. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I am just going to use Battlefield again, and I'm just going to pick out any leather and just and brown that's on the model for the weapons, or if they're wearing boots, or if they've got gloves on. I'm just going to make sure that that's all solid. And then the next color I'm going to move to is gunmetal. And ooh, that's not good. Old HD is going to have to get something real quick for the stream. Just real quick. Hold on. All right. This is going to be the secret weapon. I need a sponge. All right, so let's. Oh, and if they and for their horns, this is going to base coat their horns as well. So shout out to Celtic Miniatures for sending me these guys, and you can look to see these up on his Instagram. I did have a casualty of battle when I was building these guys. My dumbass dropped one, and I pulled out on my chair, and I heard a little snap. And I'm like, oh shit, and I snapped this guy's head off. So he's not going to be included, and I feel bad there because I haven't found the head. And it snapped off in such a way that it's filling in that hole, and I'm just like, crap. So we're going to be doing some Celtic miniatures for a little while, but it's nothing special. One thing I like about these is they're just basic miniatures, and if you want to do an encounter and you don't want to invest a lot of time, I suggest picking some of these up or getting his STLs because, you know, I mean, let's face it, time is a commodity. It's the biggest commodity on the face of the planet. And not everybody has a lot of time to sit there and paint a fully detailed GW miniature. Let's make sure I'm maintaining frame here. So let's see. Yeah, we got to do his... Oh, and I'm also going to use this brown as for the mixture of the base coat for the gold as well. And I want these guys to look like the old classic Citadel Chaos Warriors. That's kind of what I was thinking when I was starting them, you know, with Slambo and Hero Quest. But, you know, it's good. Simple is good. I like these guys a lot, actually. Let's just hurry up and get this guy's gloves done. What's up, Mr. Dynamite? Long time no see. New Grail Pilgrims would be awesome. But I think they're going to bring those back. They did say metal miniatures. And so if you're getting metal, and if they're going to cast metal miniatures again, I'm all on board for that in the old world. I am going to be broke as a joke, I'll tell you that much. So I'm not going to be buying much the rest of the year because of Old World. I've got like 2 purchases. I've got 2 purchases planned and I have 3 commissions planned, and that's pretty much it. The entirety of my spending for the summer. All right. And of course I mess up a little bit, but that's okay. We'll organize as we go here. Of course, then I try to organize shit, and guess what? Everything falls over. All right, this little homeboy here. These guys kind of remind me of the old '90s muscle men. Does anybody who's older remember getting muscle men in the gumball machine? And then whatever you oh, what's up, Cornico, Care Bear? How you doing? I might have to take up stripping or whoring, you know, to afford it. No, I'll put some money aside. Like I said, I plan to buy a full Bretonian army. That much is sure. I plan to paint 2 armies, but you know it depends. Like if the movement trays that can be made for my orcs as they stand now, I won't do orcs. But I still wouldn't put it past me to do them anyway. You know, I was a junkie back in the day. Back in 2011, my Yugo circuit 2008 to 2015. Yeah, I was a complete and total mess when it came to this stuff. Yeah, muscle men were awesome. Yeah, it's cool. One guy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, they were these rubber dudes, and they were just they all looked like a bunch of buff, gnarly wrestlers. You know, I mean, you could think of them as like proto Beanie Babies, but they were never worth anything, and you didn't have a bunch of boomers buying them. And this is just to build up a base for the leather. That's going to be gold, so we can paint that. And the reason why I used air colored black is because it's very thin, and then you know the black ink it kind of gives you a seal that's what do you call it? Translucent, and you can tell it's translucent because we're gonna do some some chaos armor on these homeboys. All right. Is this guy wearing some fabric? No, I can get away with it. All right. What's up, Alec? I will have a good stream. Thanks for coming in for a minute. I'm showing my age with the muscle. I knew I'd be showing my age with the muscle men there. You probably haven't even heard that word since what? Since '89. And you know, I think the last time I had muscle men, I must have been in 4th grade. This guy's got boots, botas, vaquero botas. All right. Oh, his horns. The first step on these guys is pretty much done. That's really remarkable. And there's no skulls on his boots. If it were a GW model, there'd be skulls all over the boots for some reason. Oh yeah, Kolic Sun Eater. Yeah, that was a book that didn't get a lot of. I had the old 7th edition Warriors of Chaos book. You had the Sun Eater. You had all that good stuff in there. I had a troll army briefly, and then I sold it. And I feel bad that I sold it because Drog was a badass, and that army was actually disgustingly powerful for some reason. It's cool thing about 8th edition was that if you wanted to have a monster mash list, you could do a monster mash list. You were allowed to have muscle men in the UK, Tipsy? I mean, I figured they would have been too violent. I mean, I've heard the rumors about how you guys couldn't say ninja on a children's cartoon show because the word ninja was too violent. Oh, we have to call them Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. They're heroes in a half shell. You see, it still works. We just can't say ninja. Which I gotta ask the question: what kind of Karens do you have there? What do you call British Karen? What's her name? Dwarves are going to be in the Coronite. The dwarves are actually going to be in the uh, initial push. Now, one thing on my last rumor thing that on my last rumor video, I always do a rumors update at the beginning of every stream because there's nothing else to talk about. But unless I see like last week, though, it was kind of weird because I saw a headline that was so ridiculous where it just said British people should just get used to being poor, and that was what's his name? What was his name? Did I write it down? It was Hugh. I don't. It was Hugh something, and he was in charge of the British banking system. And the guy makes like £190,000 a year. Probably has a home in Chelsea or Knightsbridge or an estate in the country with an actual yard. You know, that one thing that you're not allowed to have in Britain anymore, a yard that has a garden in it or something. But it was from the Daily Mail, and it just said I didn't link the article. I just showed the article, and I just thought it was that utterly preposterous. Britain should just be the Bank of England guy, Hugh Fangle or something. I don't know. But dwarfs are going to be initial release. But the one thing I talked about for the rumor mill was the reprints, new reprints of monopose models from Island of Blood and Skull Pass. And they can probably rework those casts and make them a little bit more detail oriented. So if you're on the fence, I mean, you have the pleasure of living in the state. You can come down and try whatever army you want. I've got it here. Then you don't have to be on the fence. But yeah, if they reprint these, all the value that that the British sellers are trying to milk out of these guys is going away. It's gone. They're going to put me out of business over there. I can't sell collectibles anymore. What's up, DN James? Where are all the white women at? There's no white women here. They cost money. My friend always jokes about how I can't afford a wife, and that's pretty true. I mean, he's like, you want a wife? You better be willing to shell out SUV money. My wife drives around the Tiguan like she owns it. Hugh Jassel, is that his name? Hugh Jassel, the British banker guy. Just accept being poor. And the whole article was ridiculous. Well, we're paying more for energy, but we're not going to build new power plants, both nuclear, natural gas, and coal. So you Britons can bleep off and on there. We're paying more for food, but other than potatoes that come in from Ireland, and I found out something about the UK. Whenever attractive women from like Eastern Europe come into that country. That's where they send them. They send them to the north end of Ireland to sort potatoes so that they're not seen. So if a hottie from Czechoslovakia or Croatia or what's another one, Hungary or Romania comes in, any Eastern European girl that's like thin and has a lot of marketplace value, they send them to Ireland to sort potatoes. Oh, excuse me. We're going to get into the next part of this. We're going to start painting on their weapons. I've got Grimgor in the closet. I'm thinking about busting them out tomorrow. I'm going to make another battle report that's going to go up on Patreon for fantasy if I play. Another friend of mine is coming over tonight. We're going to try a game of 2nd edition Conquest, Last Argument of Kings. His army is painted. His undead are painted. And we're going to do a 1,500-point game. And that will not go to Patreon. That will exclusively go to Rumble for a little while. And so, because we're almost about to reach a milestone on Rumble, gentlemen. I am, what do you call it? I'm almost to the big number 10. A backwater channel like me made it to 10 subs on Rumble. Well, that's okay. I don't, it's really hard to change the habit. I mean, I'm here on YouTube streaming. I'm not streaming on Rumble yet, but I will be soon. So, I mean, I don't know. I might have to wait until winter for that, or if I find myself not doing anything. I haven't decided my schedule for the rest of this month. I just tried to make it through the first week, and if I'm not doing anything, I will sit down and I will figure out how to do a maiden stream on Rumble. So watch my Instagram page for that update, so that I could actually have somebody watch me. I'm going to chip his armor just a little bit. And do his chainmail up. So let's see here. A little too much on that sponge. We'll have to reapply it here. Actually, that might actually work in some of those places where it's chipped off, huh? We'll figure it out as we go here. So Grimgor is waiting in the closet. I might bust him out tomorrow. I like Grimgor and his battles against Skaven and everything. Yeah, that's where they put all the hot chicks. They put any hot chicks that they have. That come into the country. They send them to Ireland to sort potatoes and onions. Because the domestic breed can't take it. A little better. We're doing a little better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. I haven't done this for a while. Chipping. Acceptable. A little better than the first guy. This guy's got this giant mace. I like that. Again, the links to Celtic are down in the description below. You do want to wash these models off with soap and water. Try 2 units of Black Orcs, 20 strong at least, or one giant horde of Black Orcs. One thing in the last battle report, it's up there on Patreon, as you know. I ran a pretty mean list, and I had a bunch of shitty magic phases. And my friend, he just like, I don't need magic, and he didn't. It's like, wow. It's like, okay, I guess because magic only hindered me, and it just like it didn't. Let's just say it didn't even affect the game one bit because I didn't get any spells off that were remotely helpful. I got one spell off at the end that allowed me to move my trolls away from the Reichsmarshal with the rune frame. Then I still got charged by him because he rolled double sixes, and you know you discard the lowest of 3d6, and I was like, well, he got those points. Let's just do these little bit of brushwork on the gauntlets here. I think I want these spikes to be metal. Because why not? Big, huge metal spikes. But when you do chipping on armor, you always want to ink the armor so that you get the full effect. You can wash it, but I think ink works best. That's just me. There's all kinds of ways to do it. I can't wait to get my grubby mitts on some Warriors of Chaos. See, they're just queuing up to take all my money. Maybe I'll just stick with these guys. Mangle this sponge a little bit more. Going to be a little bit chipped up around the feet more so than anything else. Mostly because you're kicking through brush when you're marching and everything. I am watching chat, so if there is something you guys want to talk about, I'm in the Zen pose today. I haven't gotten to do a lot of painting, and all I want to do is paint, you know, so I tried something different today, actually. I put the camera on a tripod rather than just on the next to the mouse square on my computer, and I think it's working out a little bit better. You know, that way you know that I'm fully clothed. Yeah, Chaos Dwarves. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do to them because the people who are doing the Forge World stuff are also doing this. They're also doing this old world endeavor. So there's a lot of what do you call it? A lot of options. Chaos Dwarves were pretty. I always wanted to have a crack at Chaos. There was a guy at the store back when we were playing Fantasy. He wouldn't play me. He did not want to play me. He's like, oh, I just beat you. I just beat you. And every time he lost. This is the same guy who like lost every single freaking fantasy tournament. He talked more shit than I did. And he would like dodge around the question of, and I had just won 3 fantasy tournaments in a row with greenskins, and he didn't want to play me because he was a douchebag. You know, everything he had was Forge World. That guy spent a lot of money. I just beat you. I call him the Battle Shirker. A lot of nice Forge World stuff. At least he painted. I have to go to a birthday party today for my stepdad. I call him Other Dad. You know, I have to go to, and then I don't know if I want to go to the restaurant. He selected Olive Garden. He's the pickiest eater on the face of the planet, and there are so many good Italian restaurants that we could have chosen. And which one does he choose? He chooses the one where the food is doused in chemicals, riddled with soy, and it's going to give you diarrhea the next day. You're going to wake up and you're going to have the Olive Garden shits. He chooses the absolute worst restaurant on the face of the planet. It's disgusting. Is there anything palatable? I'm asking you, the audience, right now. Is there anything palatable on the Olive Garden menu that isn't going to give me copious amounts of diarrhea? I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm tired of hamburgers, we were so tired of hamburgers that me and Bo went out after boxing, and we went to Wukong. We went to a Chinese restaurant. I went to Chinese restaurant with a Chinese dude, which is a different experience. I suggest you try it. We went to Wukong, and I swear the whole time in Mandarin, he's like, "You tell him I'm telling you now, you'd better make it good, you know," because he ordered everything, and we got kebabs. It was a kebab joint, and it was just barbecue. And that's it. It was just meat, and I spent $38 on just meat at a restaurant. Oh God. Don't get me wrong, it was good. $38 on meat, but there's nothing palatable at Olive Garden. Oh, I'm gonna have spaghetti. It doesn't matter what spaghetti dish I get. I can feel the T cells in my testicles telling me, don't eat at Olive Garden. Don't eat that. No, no. It's gonna lower your T levels. Maybe the breadsticks. The breadsticks are sugar, doused in chemicals to taste like garlic. I don't know what's good at Olive Garden. I'm gonna die. So if you don't see me, if you don't see me next week, oh, you won't. I'll be releasing the show somewhere in the middle of the week, or I might release it on next Saturday. I might line up a side job and take the day off. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to get all this stuff on the table painted. That's what I got to do. So I'm going to probably not write anything next week. I'm going to come down here for 2 hours a night. It's $24 for spaghetti now over at Olive Garden. Yeah, I bet you the prices are ridiculous. And it's like, why can't we just go someplace that's good? You know? I'm not saying I don't want a free meal. I was just like even my mom agreed with me. You know, she's like, I don't know. She was like in tears, apologizing to me. She just saying, I don't know why he chose that joint. Getting a good little effect there. This one, getting on his face, up on his helmet. I call these guys the Stygian Knights. The Knights of Darkness. Got a crap ton of metal out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use up just a little bit more of it. And this is one of the Grave Guard style undead models. Oh, the cool thing about these miniatures from Celtic is I put them next to other 28 millimeter models, and they are a very, very, here, I'm just going to side by side them. They're a very good true 28. This is a 28 millimeter Vitrix, and this is a 28 millimeter Graveguard dude by Celtic, and they're a true 28 millimeter. These guys are a little bit more heroic. I'd probably say they're 28 heroic or something like that, a little chunky. But I do like the scale on these guys. I mean, if you're just a dabbler or something like that, or you're putting together an encounter that involves undead or something, and you want to get at least 15 of these guys on the board, this is not hard. There is something to be said for keeping it simple. Let's see here. I haven't decided, but well, we'll do the scales in the lower part. Steel. Skeleton Man. I have to think of a banner to put on there. I haven't done a paper banner in forever. That might be something I do next stream, is make a paper banner. Of course I'm going to cheat though. I'll probably just put I'll just probably make a basic black paper banner and then put a decal on it. But hey, it's better than nothing. And this is the command guy for the skeletons. I do like the skeletons. If you're looking to get some skeletons, very quickly, very easy to build, very straightforward, very classic GW, 28 millimeter. You know, I everything that I have for my, what do you call it, my Dungeons and Dragons setup is all 28 millimeter across the board, with the exception of a few things. No Beowulf quotes today. I haven't even had time to look at the poem, so no. You know, it's just if I can get some time, I can sit down with the poem again. Maybe I'll do an entire evening with Beowulf where I try to recite the entire poem. Don't hold your breath on that. That will take at least 40 minutes minimum. And you know, then again, who's gonna watch it anyway? You know, I mean, it is a fun poem. You know, okay. Let's see here. Maybe I get one. What's up, Shadow? Who was your buddy in that stream I forgot to say hi to? I couldn't read his name, and he wasn't live on camera with the rest of you. You and Hungar were talking to this dude, and it was like, and I couldn't read his name, and I was driving. If I catch you guys when you're live streaming, like with DM James or Hungar or Shadow, if I catch any of you guys, it's usually when I'm driving at work. So I apologize to that guy I didn't say hi to. You and Hungar were talking to him. And then I lost it. I lost your Beowulf quote. I'm sorry. Let's see. This Grendel feud was heard of by one of King Higelax's men. This man... Nope, it's gone. It's gone. Nope, I don't have it. I just don't have it right now. Something about the approach to the ships. He takes 15 men. No, you and Hungar were in a stream with a third person, and I didn't see who that was. You and Hungar were in a stream with a third person. I'll have a Beowulf dialogue for you next stream or something like that. Let's kind of focus on the task at hand here. Drop of ink. Drop of black. Kind of got out of hand on this first guy, so we're going to start again. That's okay. That'll work. Down to the other one. What's up, Fred? How are you doing? You gotta tell me his name because I feel bad. That way I know his name and I can go to his channel. Let's see. Of course. My dumbass still hasn't ordered brushes. There we go. That's okay. Saved it. So let's see. I thought for a second here, while that sets up, let's start one of these skeletons here. You're gonna need a big dry brush for that. Let's give one of these guys a personality here. This will also be a good base coat for all the wood. And we're gonna have to paint with this guy. Let's get this going right like that. He's got an axe. He's got a hatchet. Table in chaos today. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to spend next week. I'm going to paint up a bunch of crap. I got to get these two things done, maybe one more. The current everything on this table needs to go. It's been like almost 2.5 weeks of like no movement here because I've been so freaking busy. Justin, yeah, it was Justin. I didn't see him and I couldn't read his name while I was driving, you know. So if you want to go into the comments after this video and link me to his, I couldn't even find his channel, if he has a channel. So, you know, now I feel bad because I didn't say hi to Justin. And there we go. Let's do the champion too. I like this guy. He's all pointing. He's got a breastplate on. Well, that's good. I mean, that's a lot of work out of the way if your night goblins are painted. It's a lot of work that you don't have to worry about. Of course, I always miss the tops of the feet. And then when I need this thing to dry brush, I don't want to dry brush. What do you mean by that? Their weapons are black, green, and red? Give these skeleton daddies a little bit of their first white coat. We're going to use Menoth White from P3. I feel like every female influencer right now. Oh, look, everybody, I painted a Necron. That's one of the gripes that I have with the Insta thoughts that are doing like wargaming and everything. I painted a Necron, everybody. That counts as wargaming, doesn't it? I dry brushed a skeleton. Look, I'm doing it. I'm wargaming. I'm doing it, everybody. I painted a Necron or a skeleton. It counts. I don't think there is a funner model than a skeleton, though. Skeleton man doing what he can because he's a skeleton man. Oh, red bows, I get it. I should learn how to read. Got my hands all over this miniature. There we go. We'll have a skeleton party. You know what I don't get is how anybody who has like an undead army or a skeleton army, how they don't have a fully painted army. That was a thing that was common back in 2004, 2006. You don't have a fully painted undead army. It was just too hard. Oh, there's too many of them. There was just too many of them, man. All right, next time if I see Justin, I'll be sure to say hi because now I feel bad. He's like, "Oh, he didn't say hi to me." Well, I didn't see a face. I need, you guys want me to just sit there and watch the stream while I drive down the road in a dump truck? I'm wargaming. I painted a skeleton. I'm going to put it up on Instagram. Typical chick move right there. I haven't painted skeletons forever. I'm actually having some fun here. Excuse me. I am extra thirsty today for some reason. Let's get two of these skeletons done. Oh yeah. bones on these Graveguard are a little bit more sturdy. That's why there's not these buff skeletons. They're big bone boys. Well, at least OBS didn't pull this shit in the first half hour. You know, if I'm in the Zen pose, I'm actually in the mood. I haven't been in the mood either, but I've been working my butt off on all this crap. Mostly, when I say crap, it's editing. It was the writing of the show. It was the last three videos that I edited were 2 battle reports. The Holy Diver show. I had the same day I filmed the show. I had just finished writing the end of the show, so I had to rehearse the ending. You know, I just wrote a. God, it's still freaking here. Hold on. As always, if you are tuning in, the new outro that I have to use to plug my bullshit, you know. It was my goal, and I think that people who are watching right now is one of the goals that I have this year is to kind of turn the Holy Diver show into my part-time job. I don't want to be a full-time YouTuber. I don't want that. I just want to kind of turn the Holy Diver show into my part-time job. There we go. Kind of like Wayne's World, party time, excellent. Aurora. Does anybody remember fun? Weren't the 90s fun? Weren't the 90s fun? You know, in 1990 you get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you know, and then you had the cartoon running strong. April was hot. April O'Neil was this big-breasted, brown-haired bombshell in a yellow jumpsuit, and now she has to be fat, black, and ugly, and possibly a lesbian. Some dark times we live in, man. Can't you give us April O'Neil, please? No! We have to ruin her, too! Come on. Almost there. Almost there. To ruin her too. Alright, alright. We're getting somewhere. And there's really no method to my madness. I'm sure everybody who's watching, what's up, Historical? I'm sure everybody who's watching me knows how to paint a skeleton. You know, there's not a lot of effort into it. But these guys, they kind of kind of really simple. And the reason why is he's got this hood thing on, and I'm going to work from the inside out. And I just want to make sure that I get his bone on first before I start to work away from it. Hurry up and do these bone daddies. This is the one that you gotta shake up. This is like the desert yellow from the War Paints range. I don't know what's wrong with it. What's up? 8 Mobius 8. How are you doing today? You a new viewer? I haven't seen you on the stream, or are you just a long-time lurker saying hi? I'll say hi to you either way. Welcome aboard. Yeah, this stuff, I don't know. Every time I use it, it's just like goes to crap on me. So hopefully I can squeeze some out. I just want 1 drop. Not the whole bottle. I got 1 drop. That's all I need. Mixed with a little Xandri. Well, thanks for watching, buddy. I'm always appreciative of that. You know, it's like I tell my mother when she's like, you need to be this, you need to be that on the channel, and, you know, and this, that, and the other for a wider audience. And I said, Mom, that's the beauty of my channel. Nobody who's watching me watches me on accident. They watch me on purpose. All right? And that's kind of where you want to be. I want the person who's like, who will be like, I'm here on purpose. Kind of like that Amish farmer they shut down in Pennsylvania. They shut his butcher shop down. At least he was able to sue and get like half of his money back. And nobody shows up to his butcher's block on purpose. You know, like it was the Food and Drug Administration that shut him down because he didn't like. They have a way of sanitizing meat, but he sanitizes the meat with citrus juice. Apparently, that didn't go over very well. You know. Nobody, and he just told them nobody. He told the court like nobody comes to my store accidentally. I'm also going to use this on the shafts of these guys as great weapons here. Is that the anime Silent Mobius? You know who else has started streaming? I forgot to mention this. Good old JVC Paints has started streaming. I don't know when he's going to have another stream again. There's laws against raw milk, which wouldn't surprise me. Like I was talking about Olive Garden, that's what they want you to eat. Is the Olive Garden food that's been riddled with chemicals and testicular cancer enhancing drugs. God, can I just paint without like, there we go. So there we go. Infinity, okay. Silent Mobius Infinity. All right, cool. I'll just call you Infinity every time I see you from now on. All right, I'm going to need the Menoth White one more time. As a matter of fact, we'll go Xandri, then Menoth on these horns. I'm going to maintain frame. There we go. I'm getting so much work done on these guys, you know. Maybe it's because they're not riddled with a bunch of BS frickin' details that I've got to worry about later. I have to block things away. I'm just like, God, is this going to be the first stream where I paint miniatures from beginning to end and actually finish them? I'm gonna start billing myself as, if you can't afford an artist like the Miniac, you can send your 3D printed models to me, the China of the wargaming community. That's how I'm gonna bill myself. I'm now the China of miniature painting. Well, we couldn't afford the Miniac, but we got HD to paint them, you know, and they got painted, they got done pretty quickly, you know. He called his meth dealer on the side and got to work right away. And now we have painted examples for our website. You know what's funny is that the Miniac works for free, like a lot of those other. Whenever they have to do something, they have to do it for free for Games Workshop. That's the sting right there. So they've all had to paint $85 box sets, and they all had to paint Primarchs, and then they got to get on a plane. And now I think the trip was comped to a certain extent. I think that they had a place where they were staying that was comped, but I think they still had to buy their own plane ticket to go to this influencers thing. You have to paint all the miniatures for Games Workshop, you know. And it's just like, just hire the heavy metal team back. You know, I'm sure they still have one, but it's not what it used to be. Be the China. Miniature Wargaming China. Alright, this guy's the Slambo right here. I like him. Don't think we'll finish the Chaos Warriors in stream, but we might get one of them. We might get one of them. Or Stygian Knights. I don't want to get sued. These aren't the not Chaos Warriors. Zen. Come on. Yeah, we'll actually get one of these guys done. gotta come down here for a second. He's got a belt. As you can see, I take my work very seriously. The autism's in full display today. So what, okay, Amazon Slack, what do you need the brushes for? What project you got coming up? I'm going to use some corn red on this guy's leather strap. Tons of unpainted minis. That's what I've got going on here today, is tons of unpainted minis. And then for the pommel and the crossguard, we're going to use bronze. There it is. Tin bits, sorry. It's just a base coat, because these, the pommel and the crossguard are very prominent features on this sword, so I figured I'd hit them with this first, so that when I do the overcoat, it reads just a little bit better. You know what would be cool is if Vampire Count skeletons could carry great weapons. You pay like 7 points a dude for a skeleton. He's got light armor and a great weapon. So he's weapon skill 2, strength 5, and whatever you hit, you might get to keep. Then they wouldn't be completely useless. There it is. Little Balthazar. All right. I just hope when he sees this stream, he likes the work that I'm doing. Let's see here. Well, he obviously likes my work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. So. If you had to do whole armies like me, they'd never get done. Is it my setup? And I got this dirty desk that doesn't work anymore. I get a lot of work done with the setup that I have. I want to experiment with the airbrush. My friend says it wouldn't be hard for me to learn. There we go. All right. We're going to put a little bit of rust on this guy's armor. And I need a specific color for that I can't put. Oh, there it is. You use a little bit of this technical. Not much, just a little bit. Of the GW texture paint. Not so much the sword, but the breastplate. And put a little bit of rust on them. I want to get some chunky texture on there. Now you're winding down on your Blood Angels project, aren't you? Just a little bit. I know this has been a boring stream. I haven't had a lot to talk about. I've just been working the entire time. Getting work done. Dirt and dirt. At least that'll dry quick enough for me to finish what I'm gonna do on these guys. Just a little bit. See what that does? It just sort of clumps on there and it acts like a little bit of rust, and then you can hit it with a little bit of tin bits, and then when you wash it, it'll actually look pretty rusty. Nothing special. It's just an old trick. Let's do the horns of these of these Stygian dudes while I wait for that texture paint to dry. There's always something you can be done when you're painting. You always want to have a side figure, a side hustle while you're waiting for paint to dry. Used to be I'd play the Super Nintendo. Now I don't have time for that. You know, I haven't fired that thing up for forever. But one thing I know about Nintendo, they make a quality product that works 40 years later almost. Okay. You're almost finished. Yeah, I'm trying to do my friend's supposed to build my Spartan for me. Once I get my Spartan, I'm going to pick up some more beakies for my Imperial Fists, and that's going to be my first army because it won't take me long to paint 10 Imperial Fists and throw them in a Rhino. Me and my friend are taking this one step further. Like, for my Iron Warriors, just in an average game, I feel that I need a squad. I want my squadron of 2 Typhons, and then I've got to have however many Terminators I'm going to throw into that thing. I got Perturabo's bodyguard, the Alma Mata dudes, the Iron Circle robot guys that he made, that he controls with his mind. But I do not have Perturabo yet. I don't think I'm going to run Perturabo. I don't... Mostly because I still have a boomer stigma about running a special character. Used to be, you go back in the day, having a special character was really frowned on. You know, oh, you got to run a special character. Like they'd only let, like when I first showed up at the store, they'd let me use a special character because I was a newbie. And then when I wasn't a newbie anymore, you know, you better not bring the Green Knight HD. We're all watching you. Because that was my man, the Green Knight. It's gonna come out of the forest. It's gonna charge your war machines. And I flubbed. I flubbed. I didn't do anything. All right. Stupid birthdays. I don't want to work. I just want to bang on my drums all day. There we go. There. Windex time. That's how I keep my paints thin. You actually hear the BB moving there. Needs more Windex. Oh, it might be good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. As for his rust, and you see that it's chunky. It looks like rust, It's got a little bit of metallic in there, you know, at 28 millimeter. That's good enough. We got a little bit of rust on his axe here. You just drag your tin bits across it. They also have, I think the Games Workshop has a rust wash that you can use. I'd have to look into that. They have some kind of oxidation paint. Boring day, lazy stream, lazy Saturday. Gosh darn, I got nothing. I feel like I cheated everybody here. No entertainment value whatsoever. Just an hour and 40 minutes of me working straight. There's no shame in starting Warhammer Fantasy. I mean, if you're going to do Undead, I suggest you pick up some of these skeletons if you like 28. You know, I mean, I mean, he's taller than a dwarf, but you can tell that he's not much taller. You got the heroic, and then you got the true 28. It's gonna be time for me to get a new one of these out. I don't even know where I put it. I like that. They put BBs in their paint now. We'll wash our champion here. Oh yeah, that'll actually work out really good with the wash. Little wash-a-haul, nothing special. Oh yeah, that looks great. Hopefully it doesn't reactivate the texture. I don't think it doesn't look like it is. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, we can come up for a final reveal of those guys in a couple minutes. So once that, you're just not e-thoughting enough. I know. I'm sitting. I painted a skeleton, Corn. That counts as wargaming, doesn't it? Anybody in the chat, doesn't painting one skeleton or one Necron model make me a wargamer? And I've got my 3 pictures of of the one Necron that I painted on what do you call it? Instagram. Please send me money. That makes me a war gamer, right? Look at all the look at all the let's say I went down to the Salvation Army. Look at all the board games I bought and put on a nice shelf behind me. I clearly know what I'm talking about, right? You got to tell me what you think about the new Holy Diver show now that it's up on Patreon, Cornite. I think I'm gonna cross the Rubicon on this one. Best part about watching on TV and typing on the phone, no glasses required. Are you watching me on the TV right now? Oh man, I'm not TV. I don't have a TV friendly face, you know. Just so you know. I mean, I don't want you to go blind. That's why I'm on the little screen. We're gonna work the leather on some of these guys. Just the leather grips on their weapons are going to be leather. I'm actually going to use Gothor Brown to highlight their gloves and their boots. I'm not quite done with these guys. When I get these 4K Stygian Chaos dudes done, I'll throw them up on Instagram. I'll also throw full pictures of the skeletons that I finished today on Instagram. As long as it was pretty funny, you know, and that's the whole point. Like maybe I can put in my description of the channel that I'm like the first wargaming comedian. You know, I mean, I just like, I'm trying to keep the insults kind of like low blow, but I'm not really trying to jab the knife in. Holy Diver is done jabbing the knife in on people, you know, because there's no point for it, you know. I want the message to get out there, you know. I really do think that you know, with the whole like the influencers painting Pride Marines and you know like some of the inorganic people who are in the alphabet community coming into the hobby, I really think that they're trying to destroy every single male hobby out there, every single niche male hobby out there. They're just trying to destroy it because they got to push this message of you know, of it's okay to wear a dress or something like that. They're pushing this like homo agenda or whatever it is, and it's got to come out everywhere you go these days. Like I mean, it's like fine, Corporal Klinger was funny, but I don't want to see Corporal Klinger every day. Like I was text messaging a friend of mine, and there was a dude out there in an evening gown. All right, drying his car at the Quick Quack car wash. All right, and I'm like, really, dude? And he's all bending over, just like, come on. I'm still having nightmares to this day. I'm still having nightmares to this day. We could, you know, and I'm not saying that women aren't allowed or anything like that, but it's like, it's the same thing. I don't collect bras. I don't have, or Louis Vuitton bags, you know. Definitely a wargaming comedian, definitely niche. That's where I'm going with the new Holy Diver show, Mobius up on a, what do you call it, Patreon right now. What's up, Copy? I'm stuck with spaghetti. Nothing on the menu for Olive Garden is good, Corey. I'm sorry. No. I can feel the the T cells in my testicles say, no, we are not going to Olive Garden. I'm like, this after the stream ends, I'm going to call up my mom and tell her I'm not going to Olive Garden. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. No, it's a giant no. Not eating at Olive Garden today. It's like, no, please. But you know, that's what that's where you want when you turn 70, that's where you choose to eat. We can't go to Italian Village and get real food because he hates Italian Village. And me and my mom were both laughing at it. This is like what me and my mom's pastime. Every now and then, my stepdad will do some kind of like old boomer, old man thing. Like, you know, he'll be like, why are we having hushwi with potatoes? Because we're serving turkey. It's kind of what we do. It's our thing. Well, all right. And he pushes it aside. And there's like the one time my mom made a dumpster meal. It was like the worst meal she ever made in like 20 years. And he went back for thirds. It was like chicken and noodles. It was nothing special about it. We were like both like choking it down. It was like, you know, just mom had an accident in the kitchen where I was like, do you need me to come up and supervise to make sure that you're going to make my food right? And we were joking about it, but he went back for thirds. He pulled the tray closer to him and like started to guard it. There's some absurd behavior, you know. Maybe I should do some reconnaissance videos, like where he sits. Okay, so one thing that my stepdad does, he'll sit down, and then he'll look with his laptop, and he'll spend like 20 minutes looking for his browser. He's like, how do I get this thing to go online again? And he'll sit there, and he'll be like, He'll do like a hand gesture. He'll get up and he'll take a break because it mentally drained him. Then he'll sit there. Then he'll remember is the E button. The button for the internet is a problem for my stepdad. He can't find the button to the internet. Nothing on there. All the free bread. Is that what it takes to get customers these days? It's just, we're going to distract you with bread and... I guess that's a thing. You were distracted by bread and circuses, gentlemen. Do not. That's the moral. That's how I'm going to close this stream out here in a couple of minutes is don't get distracted by bread and circuses. It's absolutely meaningless. Like in the words of Ronnie James Dio, don't smell the flowers, they're an evil drug to make you lose your mind. Don't go to heaven, 'cause it's really only hell. Don't dream of women, because they'll only bring you down. Favorite song, by the way. Don't Talk to Strangers by Ronnie James Dio. That's probably number one. And my top favorites, top five, is Don't Talk to Strangers from the album Holy Diver. And if I could go back to 2006 with my laptop setup and teach myself how to YouTube, I would have been big. I'd be like, we're a wargaming comedian, and we're going to call you the Angry Wargaming Nerd. That'll be your name. Instead of Holy Diver. I thought I was being... But it's cool. You know, you have to look for my channel. You know, that was kind of on purpose too, because the Kung Fu Master doesn't go looking for students. Vaquero Botas, amigo. I wonder, does Olive Garden even still make pizza? Is there please somebody in the chat tell me. Rainbow in the Dark, that's a good one. Don't get me wrong, it's just Don't Talk to Strangers, probably one of the best songs on that album. You know, it's underlooked because Rainbow in the Dark is a hard act to follow, very hard to follow. Power Slave's a really good song. Yeah, I don't want to die. I'm a god. Why can't I live on? Yeah, that's a really good one. Slave to the power of death. Slave to the power of death. They do have pizza. All right. All right. All right. And I'm like, is it better than Little Caesars, or am I in for the same quality of food there? I have to eat it Olive Garden. That just shows you how affluent we are in the first world when we're complaining about eating at Olive Garden. That's Rainbow. So that's Richie Blackmore's baby, and Richie Blackmore is known for being a kind of a dick. And that's why, I mean, like there's the story. I'll have to link it I'll pin it in the comment of how Ronnie James Dio says you have to treat the fans. Because he was working for Richie Blackmore, and after a show in Scotland, Richie comes out, basically flips off everybody waiting for an autograph, and then he leaves, gets in a car and leaves. And everyone like, we missed our trains. And Dio was like, I'm never going to let that shit happen to me. I'm never going to let that happen to me. And he sits there and sure enough, he comes back as Dio, plays the same venue, same crappy weather outside. People miss their trains. And he says, okay, give us 15 minutes. We're gonna reopen up the venue. They set up a table. Dio grabbed something to eat, sat down at a table, and he signed autographs all night. And he says, treat the fans how they deserve to be treated, because without them, we are not. All right, and that's the new policy going forward for Dio. So the wash is kind of dried on these guys, and what do you think? You got a little bit of rust effects on there, nothing special. And that actually tarnishes the metal there. And if I wanted to, I could reapply a little bit more texture paint, but I don't think that's necessary. It's just your run-of-the-mill garden variety skeletons. We're gonna do a banner for this guy, and it's gonna be a little triangle banner, nothing special. But that's the skeletons. And when these guys, I'm going to finish these guys just a little bit later. The moment their wash is done, I'm finishing them. And then these four dudes, they're going to get finished. And I'll put the stills up on Instagram and everything. Let's see here. Rick Springsteen, he also sung "Don't Talk to Strangers." Did he? I don't think he wrote that song though. He has a different version probably. Blackmore was a dick. Yes, that is true. We all agree there. Oh, what's up, Sergeant K? You came in here at the end. I'll show them one more time for you, Sergeant K. You got the two Celtic miniature skeletons. These guys, they are pretty good looking. They are pretty good looking. If I wanted to, I could do a little bit more white, but the wash settled exactly the way I thought it would on these guys. And that's basically them. A little bit of color with the red pummel. And then I'm probably going to finish these guys this evening. And that's just basically it. Just a Chaos Warrior. You saw me with my my trusty bit of sponge right here. So anyway, that's about it. We're gonna end the stream here. Just give me a second. I'm gonna go into OBS. Aka there, and we'll go into the scene. All right, promotional consideration paid for by the following: John K, Andrew C, Lady Quickblood 35, Moonbad, Babas D, Craig B, Jimmy M, Drac Wizza, James C, Macy J, Tipsy Thomas, James B, Woolock, Jason G, Michael W, Coronite Care Bear, Olinius Pius, Road Dog, King Assault, Tippers, Sean, Orange Veteran, Christian M, and Celtic Miniatures sponsored the stream today, and then Randy the Axeman. As always, if you are tuning in, now there are more ways to interact with me. You can check me out on Rumble, the home of all the 40K battle reports. You can check me out on Patreon, and then You get access to exclusive content. You get the Holy Diver show a week, sometimes 2 weeks early. Patrons get shouted out at the beginning and end of every single live stream. You can also DM me on Instagram, but as you know, YouTube has many features you can use to interact with me. You can like the video, dislike the video, comment, or subscribe. But until I see you again, keep painting, keep playing, and stay metal, my friends. Thanks for tuning in for this slower, more work-oriented stream, and we'll see you in the next one.